Here we are back with another one. Hope you are okay on that side of the screen. And today to take a quick look at the B760, which is my personal favorite chipset, especially on the ASUS platform, either on ROG or on TUF, because it offers a lot of features and the price is not a premium price. It's an average price. So in my opinion, this is one of the most balanced boards. We have seen in the past the 660, 560, 460, and I'm not really sure about the 300. I had the 370, but I'm not sure if I had the 360. So B760, and we took a look at it while I did the last setup with the ROG Imperium, which is the best case for computers that I've seen so far. It's not cheap, so don't get scared, but it was the best case, just awesome. And I did use this setup right over here, but I didn't have time to explain some of the features that this motherboard has. So today we are going to take a look just at the motherboard. If you are building your setup and you are looking to activate your Windows 10 or 11, don't forget to check out KeysFan, which is a platform that we have been using for the past few months. Official OEM keys at an affordable price, and with the coupon code that you can see on screen and also down below in the video description, you will be able to get an extra discount. Now, taking a look at this awesome motherboard, it has the ATX format, so it will be able to be placed on any or almost any case. If you are using the ROG Imperium, then it will be fitted right over there and it will have a lot of space. Supports Intel CPUs 12th and 13th generation. I'm using the i5 13600K, which is a CPU mid-tier but with a really high performance. So if you are looking for something for your video editing, for gaming, you will be more than fine with this CPU. Now, in terms of the aesthetics, there's something that I really love either on the ROG and also on the TUF model. By the way, talking about ROG and TUF and talking about different models, this model right over here, it's called the ASUS B760 Gaming Wi-Fi D4, and this is because it uses DDR4 RAM, and this is an important factor that I forgot to mention at the beginning. If you're looking to keep your DDR4 RAM to upgrade to a new generation CPU, new generation motherboard, but keeping the RAM, this is the best model that we can have. On the other hand, if you're looking for a DDR5 memory motherboard, the B760F Gaming Wi-Fi, no D4 on the name, D4 is for DDR4. It's probably the solution that I would choose at this moment if I wanted to jump to DDR5. But we will talk about that in just a few moments. I was talking about the aesthetics. We will see right over here a really nice set of coolers, chipset on the VRM and also for the SSDs M.2, silver metal, which looks awesome, and it's quite thick, so it will cool down all the components really nicely. Now, in terms of PCIe slots, we have a PCIe 5.0 slot for the GPU. On the setup, I did use the RTX 4070 Ti, which is a beast of a GPU and really large. Now, one of the advantages of this PCI right over here is that it has the safe slot, which is this metal enclosure all around, which protects the slot, and it will avoid that long GPUs that have no support on the case will not bend, damaging the motherboard and damaging the GPU. So this is an extra layer of protection, which is really welcome. Have in mind when selecting your case, be able to check out if it has a support for the GPU so that it gets leveled. Now, one small detail which is really useful as well is this quick release right over here. We just need to press it and it will release the GPU. So if you have assembled computers before, you know how hard it is to put your finger down below. You might say, hey Robert, I will place my GPU and I will never mess with it again. Okay, then you will not need this button, but if you are someone that sometimes takes the GPU and other components to clean it up with the air pressure, then probably this button will be very useful. Storage wise, it will support 4 SATAs, but more importantly, it will support 3 M.2 SSDs. And as you can see down below right over here under these coolers, I did place in 3 Sabrent SSDs We have PCIe 4.0 connection, so we will get speeds of 7,000 megabytes per second, which we do with the Sabrent Rocket 4 Plus, one of the fastest in the planet, as we have seen right over here. I'll try to leave some links on the YouTube card so that you can check it out. I did use 2 Sabrent Rocket 4 Plus and 1 Sabrent Rocket Q4. No screws needed because it has the key lash system. We just need to move it and it will put the SSD in place without messing with screws. DDR4 RAM is the RAM that will be used on this motherboard, up to 128 gigs at 5333 megahertz. In this setup I did use the S3 Plus Dragon Heart, which I will also leave a link down below, and we have used right over here. It has our sync, so we can synchronize with all the components that we have. But this will be one of the main questions to decide this motherboard or any other. Here we will have DDR4 so we can save money, but later on if we want DDR5 then we will need to jump to another motherboard, and later on we will purchase the DDR5. So this will be a matter of choosing if I'm upgrading right now DDR5 and I will go to the other model that I did suggest, or will I go to the DDR4 way and I will keep my own, saving money now, and later on will upgrade. So this will be a main question to do when deciding on this motherboard. Internal connectivity we will have a lot. One that I do love is Thunderbolt 4, which is present right over here, so have this in mind when selecting your PC case, because you will have the availability to connect right over here. But if the case doesn't have USB 4 or Thunderbolt 4, then you will not be able to use it, and this is one of the most important connections. Beside that, we will also have USB 3.2 with support for USB Type-C and USB Type-A, and SATA connections, which are 4. There are also 5 fan connectors, which we will be able to control via the software in terms of speeds and the airflow. And besides that, also 4 RGB connectors. So if we want to give more LEDs and more color to our setup, we will be able. We will have 2 right over here and 2 in the bottom. In terms of external connectivity, we will find 1 HDMI, 1 display port, 4 USB 2.0, a flashback BIOS button, which is very useful, 1 USB Type-C 3.2 generation 2, 1 USB Type-A 3.2 generation 2, Ethernet 2.5 gigabits, 2 USB 3.2 generation 1, Wi-Fi 6E and Bluetooth, and also 1 USB Type-C 3.2 generation 1 and the audio port. Now, all this is really cool, but there is also one more cool thing, which is the LED that we will find right over here, just to give that small touch of the ROG gaming, and it looks really nice when we have several components. And then with the software, which is Armory Crate, we can set up the preset that we want. We can use our sync with every single component, and we can synchronize all the components, or we can just give different colors and different presets to every single component that we have. That is available with our sync. So this is a really nice touch. To finish up, in terms of accessories, we'll have this antenna right over here, and besides that, the usual that ASUS sends on their motherboards: user manual, SATA cables and cable management ties, and a few screws, which we didn't need any screws whatsoever. And basically that is it. So hopefully this video will help you to decide if this is the motherboard for you or not, based mainly on the question that if we want to jump to another generation by using DDR4 and all the features that we will find right over here. If you want to jump to DDR5, then the suggestion that I gave you of the B760F gaming Wi-Fi is probably the one that I would select right now if I was building a setup. That being said, hope that the video was helpful, and if it was, don't forget that usual thumbs up right over there, which is really appreciated on this side of the screen. My name is Roberto, and as always, I'll see you guys on the next one.